All right, Don, what are we making today?
Don's Kahlua coffee liqueur.
Okay, so we're making a kind of a Kahlua type thing.
Yep, except I threw a couple different twists in.
Alrighty, well, welcome to Don's Fine Spirits and Wines. I'm Morris, and behind the counter is my lovely assistant, Don.
Hi.
This channel is all about making your own adult beverages. We'll cover how to make your own wines, liqueurs, spirits, and who knows, someday we'll even look at making beer. We invite you on a journey of exploration and learning as we show you some of the methods and techniques that we've learned over the last couple of years, and maybe, just maybe, we can help turn you on to a very interesting hobby. We'll also post the odd video on how to MacGyver some of the equipment and things that you'll need to enjoy this craft thoroughly. Today, we're going to show you how to make your very own
Don's Kahlua coffee liqueur.
From scratch. Okay, we hope that you enjoyed the video and find it useful. If you do, please subscribe to our channel and activate the notifications so that you can see our newest videos. And just to put a smile on Don's face,
press the notification and the like button.
Yeah, because she likes it when people like her.
Yeah, likes are important.
Alright, let's get started. Alright, to make this Kahlua, you're going to need some kind of a heat source, which is the hot plate that's just off to Don's left. You're going to need a pot, which is on the hot plate.
What's on black?
Just to make sure you can see it properly. You're going to need some kind of a bowl. We like small bowls. You're going to need jars to store the Kahlua in.
I don't have them out right yet.
You're going to need some kind of a spoon or spatula or things that you can use to stir with. You can use your fingers too, but some of this stuff's going to be hot, so you... Okay, you're going to probably need a funnel at some point, apparently. Alright. And you're going to need some kind of a container to let it mature, but that's basically the jars that you're going to be putting it in, so there's nothing to worry about. Hey, did you know that you needed coffee to make this?
Oh, and I happen to have that instant coffee, 2 ounces.
Yeah, but it's listed as the equipment instead of in the ingredients.
Ah.
Some people, like that genius that writes the scripts for this, boy, he should be taken out and shot. Okay, ingredients. You're going to need 4 cups of water. And water's in a jug. You're going to need 2 ounces of instant coffee, which
I showed you before.
You're going to need 4 cups of sugar. Now, go ahead, Don.
Which is making it my own. I'm doing 2 cups brown, 2 cups white or regular sugar.
So the long and the short of the sugar thing is you can use whatever sugar you want. I'm not sure that you want to use icing sugar. But white sugar, brown sugar, caster sugar, cane sugar, raw sugar, you name it, any combination thereof, as long as it's sugar, that's what you want. The original recipe calls for 2 vanilla beans. Vanilla beans are basically impossible to get for us right now, so we're going to use option B, which is about 5 teaspoons of vanilla extract. You're also going to need a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. You're going to need a 1/2 teaspoon of cocoa powder. This is very optional. You may need about 2 tablespoons of caramel, but that's later in the process, and it's optional and subjective, so if you have it handy and you want to use it, more power to you, but it's not necessary to the recipe. You're also going to want the zest from a little bit of zest from a lemon, a little bit of zest from a lime, and just a little bit of lemon juice. Now you can take the lemon juice from the bottle, or you can give the lemons that you're using a bit of a squeeze, but you only need about a teaspoon or so of the lemon juice. Alrighty then, we're going to get started with the process. So the very first thing that the lovely Don is going to do, I don't know that you want to put that bowl too far. You might want to make a hole for it later. Okay, the very first thing that the lovely Don is going to do Okay, she's going to take the bowl that she already has the coffee measured in. Okay. And she's going to add we have a cup of pre-measured hot water that we took from our kettle. Done. You're going to put the water in the bowl. Okay,
this is hot water.
Yeah. Now she's going to stir back and forth, because we have to dissolve the coffee.
Don't want to stir too hard.
Yeah, because we didn't take a particularly big bowl, so if we get too active with the stirring, we're going to have an issue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, with 2 ounces of coffee and 1 cup of water, if you need a pick-me-up in the morning, this would be potent.
Swallow that on, and it'll take any curls out of your hair. Instantly improve your eyesight, and might make you an insomniac for several weeks.
Okay.
Okay, once the coffee is pretty much dissolved, you can set it aside for the moment. Okay, so you're going to want to bring your hot plate over. Dawn has to tell me if she's just going to dissolve the sugar or if she wants to caramelize it first.
I'm gonna try and caramelize it.
Okay, so use the white sugar because you can use the brown later, but start with the white. You put your heat on so that you can start to melt the sugar. Medium, I guess. No water yet.
Oh, yes.
If you want, you can measure out a cup because you'll need it, but...
So I'm measuring out a cup just in case.
And choose your implement of destruction. The goal at this point is we want to melt the sugar to start it caramelizing before we add the liquid. The sugar should start to liquefy. We haven't done this on the induction plate before. Is it starting to melt?
It's starting to.
Okay,
You just want to watch it very carefully.
Yeah, you want to keep stirring the sugar as it liquefies, and then you want it you basically want it to caramelize. So you want it to start to get dark. Evidently, the darker you make it, the stronger the caramel flavor would be, I guess. This is more Don's department than it is mine. Now, the goal here, or the purpose of doing this, is that when your sugar has started to caramelize, it's going to give a bit of a caramel flavor.
I'm going to add a bit of water, just a little bit.
Yeah, with the induction, it's not as simple as on the stove. Right?
No.
And that's why we mentioned in the ingredients that having some caramel handy was...
it's a little bit easier.
Basically, when you're done with everything, you can add a bit of caramel to it to give it that caramel flavor. This process is supposed to do that without needing to add the caramel. But the first part is to get the blessed sugar to melt.
Yeah, I'm getting some color. Very faint, but it's coming.
You really want it to completely melt. Pause.
Stand up, look. I think I'm going to have to add more liquid.
Alright. Mo to the rescue. You do realize Mo's somewhat larger than the lovely one. Okay, let me see. It's actually smelling quite nice.
Yeah, it does. It's
For whatever reason, it's taking its time liquefying. Oh, I see. The induction doesn't work like a hot plate or like a stove. So your heat is concentrated more around the edges than it is in the middle.
okay.
See, it's...
Yeah.
We've mentioned that we're taking on an exploration to learn with us, and now you're seeing why. This is the first time we've melted sugar on an induction plate. I don't recommend it.
No. It's a little more difficult. The color's coming, but it turns it almost right at first into rock candy almost. But it's coming, it's coming.
You know that a pan with hot sugar gets a bit warm to the touch. There we go. Ah, there, now we're starting to go liquid.
Yeah, the nice color.
With it with the water.
Yep.
See, now it's starting to give you a nice caramel color. Again, this is more the lovely Dawn's area than mine, but by way of caramel, are we getting close to it?
Very close.
Okay. So pour in the rest of that cup. It's going to be a toss.
Yep, okay. Go. That's 2 cups. Three cups.
Okay, lovely Dawn's going to take over the stirring.
With a wooden spoon.
And you get that dissolved again. Once the water comes to a boil, that should melt for you, right?
Yeah, should.
Okay, so the lessons that we have learned so far today.
Which, like we've always said, we're learning too, so.
Caramelizing sugar on an induction plate is about as much fun as pulling a tooth from a walking rhinoceros in a bad mood.
All of this because we wanted a caramel taste.
There you go. I'm going to give this a couple of minutes and see if we can get it back to where we want it. Failing that, we'll restart and just make a syrup and deal with the caramel later. We're hoping that once this comes to a full boil, that'll decrystallize for us, which theoretically it really should. We probably should have just, for the induction plate, we should probably try next time to make a heavy syrup and burn it a bit and then add more water. Making any progress?
It's melting.
As we mentioned before, some of the stuff that we do, we're doing it for the first time with you. Normally when we're doing this, we work on a stove. And I've never seen the sugar do this before. When the water comes to a full boil, it should thoroughly dissolve anything that's still solid in there. What do you think, Don?
Yes.
I'm the mad scientist that comes up with many recipes pertaining to wine and the like. And Don is a whiz in the kitchen working with all kinds of things, including desserts. When I work with sugar, as a rule, I'm dissolving it to put in a wine mixture. I'm not overly worried about the fine points. All I care about is making sure that my water's cleared and I know my sugar's dissolved and I'm moving on to the next step. But the lovely Dawn has to be have more of a subtle touch to what she does. And in fact, sometimes she doesn't want the sugar to dissolve much at all.
True. We're almost there.
Back to 100% liquid.
Few pieces left.
We will cut this down in editing so that you don't have to sit through the entire fiasco.
Water boiled.
Once we get the white sugar decrystallized, Lovely Dawn will be adding the brown sugar to melt it. The reason I didn't tell you to put the brown in yet is I wasn't sure we were going to be able to salvage that. It looks like so far you're doing okay.
Almost there. A couple of small pieces.
What you did is create candy that you're now melting. Speak, woman. They want to hear you.
Thinking of something. Jolly Rancher liqueur.
Well, somebody that I follow on a relatively regular basis made a mead using Fruit Loops. And they were quite excited about testing it, and I'll be quite honest, for my taste buds, I'm not sure that I would even think about doing something like that, but hey, that's how you learn.
Yeah. You think of a flavor and you say, oh,
A lot of ideas and inspirations that we got in the early days when we were first learning how to make wines and such came from a channel called City Steaders with Brian and Danica. And they have an amazing imagination. Some of the stuff they come up with is just amazing. You should really check out their channel.
okay. We're ready to go.
We're ready to go. So now the Lovely Dawn will try to slowly add the brown sugar, which tends to come out in clumps. So the Lovely Dawn may scream and wail as the hot sugar syrup lands on her, which will of course, will lead to me laughing hysterically in the background, but not offering a whole lot of sympathy. Maybe try hitting the stick so some of that sugar goes in. We spent the day in the sun yesterday, so for whatever reason, since I was a kid, when I spend too much time in the sun, the next day my throat is raw. Sometimes I have a headache. I think it's frustration because the Lovely Dawn will not wear a bikini to save her life, and I keep dreaming.
Yep.
I mean, when you're married to something that lovely, and it hides it behind a burlap sack, you're not really trying to go overly thick, you're just making sure everything's melted. Why did we use half brown and half white? Well, because we don't have the courage to go with full brown, and we wanted to see if it made much of a difference in taste.
Because I have made this with 4 cups of white sugar, and it's very good. I just thought maybe the brown sugar would add more of a caramel taste.
And in the future, when we get our courage up, we might give it a try with just brown sugar. Of course, we'll share a video with you because we love making you watch our videos. But the truth of the matter is, we might try it off video, decide that it stinks, and never mention it again.
Definitely.
When we're making our videos, we try to share our mistakes with you. Because we know when we're working in the kitchen, things don't always go to plan.
No matter how good you are.
So, while you're watching our videos and learning the recipes, you can experience with us some of the things that can go wrong and how we have to deal with it. So that when you're working, when you run into it, you know what's the problem. And the lovely Dawn just dropped the lid on our floor, which is obviously not sanitized. In fact, I should be reasonably certain that my floor hasn't seen a mop or a broom in several years now. It's been at the very least 15 minutes. The lovely Dawn will let me know when we've got liquidation and liquefaction.
Alright, we're ready to go.
Okay.
It seems that all sugar is melted.
Okay, now the next step is you take your coffee mixture and you're going to pour that into the sugar syrup. And you put a splash of water in there to cut any of the leftovers. Make sure that we get all of that wonderful coffee. Okay, now you start stirring. Keep mixing the mixture until it's well mixed. What you're looking for now is you want the whole thing to start to come to a hard boil. This part of the video we will probably speed up just a little. You know, we got to keep our eyes open either at the store or at an auction. You want to get a digital clock with a relatively large display. So that when you're working, you can have the clock on the table and people can watch.
Yep.
So when you do the speed up, you say, okay, well, they boiled it for 15 minutes without actually having 15 minutes of video.
Yeah.
You know, it's probably helping the editing too. I can't wait for you guys to see my clumsy edits, my clumsy efforts at editing my first videos. Now close.
Waiting for the bubbles. He's touching my machine again.
We just raised the temperature a little to get this to come to a boil. There's no specific instructions as to what temperature to use. Maybe after we've made this video I can talk to lovely Dawn into making me a cup of coffee, because it's starting to smell like coffee.
Oh yeah, it smells it. I do not like coffee, but boy, I do like the smell of coffee. Yeah.
And I basically drink very, very, very little, as I'm becoming an expert at making alcohol and wines. Last year I made 600 bottles of wine, of which I think I drank 3. But my friends and family are really grateful for my new hobby.
Okay, we have a hard boil.
Okay, so now that it's at a hard boil, we are going to turn the heat off. And we're going to move the hot plate, actually, no, now you have to add this. We're going to keep it on medium. Okay, and you have to add the rest of your ingredients. So you need your 5 teaspoons. Well, you start with the dry, I guess.
Yep.
Okay, so with the dry ingredients, you need a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. I don't know if I wrote this upside down or what. I got a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon and a 1/2 teaspoon of cocoa. I think we only want a 1/4 of cocoa.
Yeah.
You know,
I'll put a 1/4. Put a 1/4 cocoa. Again, you can add.
yeah, make it a flat 1/4 because you got like about 3 teaspoons on that 1/4 right now. Keep going. See, when I ask her to give me a tablespoon of lemon juice, she fills the spoon halfway. I asked for a 1/4 teaspoon of cocoa and she puts such a mountain on there. There you go. The guys that climbed Everest recently were asking for permission to climb her cocoa pile.
I'm going to give it a stir with those ingredients, those 2 anyways, just to make sure. Okay.
Now you're going to add your 5 teaspoons of vanilla. A 1/2 tablespoon.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Now, for those of you who feel like doing math or have a different set of measuring equipment, 5 teaspoons of vanilla extract is equal to 1.5 tablespoons. Because there's 3 teaspoons to a tablespoon. 1.5 wouldn't work. You see, so I spoke for nothing. Because if you use 1.5, then you wind up with, no, that's 5.
Yeah.
I was right. Huh.
Well, you guys, I wish you could smell it. It smells really good. Ugh.
Okay, next you're going to add the bit of zest that you want from your lemon and lime. The zest is not necessary. We add it because we like to give it a little citrus bang, which brings it a lot closer to the actual recipes.
There you go.
Okay, but it's by no means necessary. Alright, came to a boil. Now, you're going to transfer this to, okay, we're going to turn the heat off. You're going to move your hot plate over. And we're going to replace it with the big green, what was I saying? We're looking for our catchphrase. We're going to replace it with the big orange bowl. Now, the lovely Dawn is going to pour that magical elixir that she has into the big orange bowl. My God, that looks good.
And a queen pot.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay, now we are going to come back to you in about 10 minutes, I suppose.
Let it cool
because
just
we
a
need
bit.
to let this cool. Otherwise, when we add the alcohol, something terrible is going to happen. The heat from the boiling water will force the alcohol to evaporate, and then you'll be drinking Kahlua flavored stuff with no bang. Of course, if you're into that, more power to you. But personally, when I take a drink, I like to sort of know that I've had a drink. So we're just going to let this sit and cool, and we'll come back to you as soon as it's ready for us to take the next step. And we've let the syrup cool to an appropriate temperature. Now to the syrup, we are going to add... Okay, we're back. The syrup is cooled to the appropriate temperature, so we're not going to kill our alcohol. Now to the syrup, you're going to add 35 ounces of Yeah, 35 ounces of your vodka or rum, whatever you're using.
Again, it's your choice what alcohol you use.
You want to have a minimum of 40%.
Yes, sorry.
Okay, so you want a total of
11.50, isn't it?
Yeah.
There you go.
Alright. I just realized that I screwed up the math. It was supposed to be 1050 in milliliters for 35 ounces, and instead we put 1150, which is about 38 ounces. So that just means we're going to be happier.
Yeah.
Okay, if you want your final alcohol to be lower, you use a bit less rum. If you want it to be higher, well...
Again, it's all in perspective, what you want to your taste.
The recipe that we're making is going to finish making about 2 quarts, 2 26-ounce bottles of Kahlua, and it will be at about 25% alcohol. The standard Kahlua is about 21%, but we like it a little stronger because just take a close look at the lovely Dawn and you'll understand. She's such a beautiful, spicy creature that we need to add a little extra sauce to the party. The lovely Dawn is preparing. I thought we were just going to transfer it to a gallon bottle to let it sit, to be honest.
I have the gallon bottle too.
Okay, what we like to do is, like, the Kahlua is going to be ready to drink now, but we like to let it sit for a day or two to let the flavors thoroughly mingle. Well, we're back again. Okay, so Dawn is going to slowly, with the assistance of Mo, we're going to pour the liquid into our jar. There may be a little bit of syrup left over. I don't think that's going to go through the funnel. You might have to put the zest in all by yourself, lonesome. Did you add zest to this second batch?
Yeah.
All right.
So we're going to take those 2 pieces of zest.
There, and the little piece that's hanging from the bottom of the funnel there.
2 more pieces.
So now we've got it all mixed into the jar, so the lovely Dawn's going to put the lid on and give all you gentlemen a special treat, because you're going to watch everything jiggle while she shakes and says, oh, look at that, wow. Come on, woman. You know that bikini thing that we keep talking about that you won't wear? Right now we'd be getting 1 million views, I tell you. Okay, so now we're just going to put this in the fridge and let it sit for like a day or 2 until it gets the way we want it to be. And it could be a day or 2 days. Basically what we've noticed is after 2 days it starts to taste very nice. After 3 days it tastes better. After 4 days, my God. So that's basically where we're at. So we hope that you thoroughly enjoyed this. Once it's made and you have friends over, you can serve it over ice. You can serve it in any drink whatsoever that would normally call for Kahlua.
My favorite is milk.
You can pour it over ice cream and tell the kids that no, there's no alcohol involved in this. Whatever you do, don't leave it where the kids can get their hands on it, or social services will be coming for a visit. No. Like anything else, be responsible when you're dealing with alcohol. We don't want anybody doing anything silly. We share this with you so that you can entertain yourselves and have a bit of fun, not because we want anybody to come to harm.
So true.
So until our next video, this is Morris telling you subscribe, man. We need people to subscribe.
Don't forget the notification button and the like button.
Oh yes, anything to do with the lovely Dawn. The more you like, the more she shows. That's all I got to tell you. Okay, people, thank you very much for watching our video, and we very much hope you enjoyed it.
Bye.